Hey there. So you've probably heard that the experts are predicting a recession in the near future. And you know that recessions can have big impacts on many aspects of your life, which means you're probably wondering how a recession will affect the real estate market. Well, first off, let's clear the air. A recession does not equal a housing crisis, okay? They're not the same thing. A recession is an economic downturn that affects the economy. And here's a fact that might surprise you. In the last 4 to 6 recessions, home price has actually increased. That's right, home values tend to actually increase during a recession. This might feel unexpected, but out of the last 6 recessions, home values have only fallen twice. First, during the recession in the early 90s, home values dropped by a few percentage points. And then second was during the housing crash back in 2008 when values dropped significantly. So now basically everyone's afraid that we'll see another housing crash like the one in 2008, but that's probably not going to happen. I compare with that recession we had in 2020, home prices and home values shot up and have stayed high. Much higher than the home values were before. It's also important to know that we're not in the same housing situation that we were in back in 2008. That real estate market was driven by a bubble by artificial demand and predatory lending practices that all but made sure people had mortgages they couldn't afford, right? Our market now, it's different. Currently, our market's built on real supply and demand. Right now, demand for home is incredibly high. And due to the advent of remote work, we're seeing so many people moving around the different places and looking for homes that have specific features or that are just larger than apartments. And when you couple that with the high demand with the fact that we're building homes at much slower than the usual rate, due to supply line disruption, you can see that our market isn't artificially inflated. We're seeing now what we're seeing now, it's a market typical, with all the considerations. Another important thing to remember is that the house isn't in stock. It's not tied to the same market forces that stock markets is based on. So when the stock market dips and your retirement portfolio has definitely seen better days, you might not see any difference at all in your home value, and you could actually see it increase. So here's what you should be prepared for if we do go into a recession. Home prices will likely start to level out due to higher interest rates for buyers and people trying to save money. But the demand, it's still there. So if you're worried about the housing market crash, because of the recession, let's talk about that. I can give you the stats and the facts you need to know so you can make an informed decision that furthers your future.